I made a mistake that I don't think I'll survive. And if you're hearing this right now, then it's probably already too late for me. Because something followed me home from the woods. And ever since that night, people have been disappearing. Families, children, infants, torn apart like animals. And now, it's outside my house, waiting. This all started about 2 weeks ago. I had recently moved from Maryland down to Florida, but my cousin Jared invited me back for a weekend hunting trip. I hadn't gone hunting in years, and honestly, I missed it. So Thursday night, I got in my truck and drove 15 straight hours through the night. By Friday morning, I was exhausted. I barely remember making it to Jared's place before collapsing into bed. The next morning, around 4 a.m., Jared woke me up. We grabbed our rifles, made some coffee, and headed deep into the woods before sunrise. By 5:30, we were already sitting high in a tree stand overlooking a bait station. The woods were dead quiet. Too quiet. Hours passed. Nothing but squirrels, rabbits, and the occasional rustling in the distance. But right before sunset, I saw something. At first, I thought it was a deer, large, brown, standing near the edge of the trees. I slowly lifted my rifle and looked through the scope. That's when my stomach dropped. Something about it looked wrong. The shape didn't move like an animal. It just stood there, watching us. "Do you see that?" I whispered. Jared lifted his binoculars. For several seconds, he didn't say a word. Then quietly, "I can't tell what the hell that is." I should have listened to the fear in his voice. But after driving all the way from Florida, I didn't want to leave empty-handed. So I lined up the crosshairs, took a breath, and pulled the trigger. The rifle exploded through the woods. And then, something screamed. Not an animal, not human, something in between. A wet, choking shriek echoed through the trees, and every hair on my body stood up instantly. Jared looked at me in complete horror. For one terrifying second, I thought I had shot another hunter. But deep down, we both knew that wasn't possible. Because whatever made that sound wasn't human. We climbed down from the stand and found blood leading into the woods. Thick, dark, fresh. We followed it for maybe 30 yards before the trail disappeared into darkness. And neither of us wanted to keep going. The drive back was silent. Jared kept staring straight ahead, gripping the steering wheel so hard his knuckles turned white. Then finally, he whispered, "That thing shouldn't exist." I felt sick. "You think it was Goatman?" I asked. Jared shook his head slowly. "I don't know what it was. And honestly, I think he was too scared to say the name out loud." I left for Florida early Monday morning. Somewhere in South Carolina, exhaustion hit me hard, so I stopped at this cheap roadside motel. And that night, I had the worst feeling of my life. Like something was outside my room, watching, waiting. I barely slept. Then before sunrise, I loaded my bags into the truck and started driving again. As I pulled out of the motel parking lot, I saw it, standing near the tree line. Tall, unnaturally tall, completely still. At first, I thought it was some homeless guy wandering around. But something about the way it stood there felt wrong. It was watching me. I drove away immediately, and for the next 5 days, everything seemed normal. Until the Amber Alert started. The first alert was a missing mother and infant. Police blamed the father. Then another family disappeared the next night. Then another, and another. Entire families gone overnight. No signs of forced entry, no witnesses, nothing. A few days later, they found the bodies, or what was left of them. The victims had been ripped apart, limbs missing, organs scattered through the woods. And the infants, God, the infants had been partially eaten. After that, I started carrying my pistol everywhere. I barely slept. Every noise outside my house made my heart stop. Then suddenly, the killing stopped. Police announced they arrested some mentally ill drifter named Jonathan Taylor. And for the first time in days, I finally relaxed. I thought it was over. I was wrong. Because later that night, I heard tapping on my window. Very soft, very slow. Tap, tap, tap. At first, I thought it was rain. But when I looked outside, I saw two glowing red lights staring back at me through the darkness. I froze. Then I turned on the porch light, and my blood went cold. Those weren't lights. They were eyes. The thing standing outside my window looked almost human, but twisted into something unnatural. Its body looked broken, bent wrong.
Whispering like its bones had shattered and healed incorrectly over and over again. Massive horns curled from its skull. Its face looked stretched between man and animal. And it looked angry. No, not angry. Hungry. My hands shook as I grabbed my pistol. But the second I raised it, the creature disappeared into the darkness. I called the police immediately. They searched the property for nearly an hour, and just before they gave up, one of the dogs found something in the woods behind my house, a severed baby's arm. The next morning, investigators flooded the area. They uncovered tiny shoes, shredded clothing, human remains scattered through the trees. The police immediately started treating me like a suspect. They didn't believe a word I said about the creature. But I know what I saw, because this morning, I found hoof prints outside every single window of my house. And tonight, something is outside again. For the last 2 hours, crying. I've heard a baby crying outside my back door. The police stopped answering my calls, and deep down, I think I already know why. Because whatever followed me home from those woods is finally ready to come inside.